New York City has had an owl that escaped from the zoo that became an icon amongst the New York people. I guess more so in Manhattan than anything else. His name is Flaco, the Central Park owl, and he died. Right, so let's talk about this. He was free for a whole year and lived in Manhattan amongst the people. So we're gonna go through because I really know nothing about him. All I know is he was an owl and he died of rat poison. But we need to get into the lore. So Flaco, the Eurasian eagle owl who's escaped from the Central Park Zoo and life on the loose captivated in New York, had enough rat poison and pigeon virus in his system to kill him, even if he had not died after apparently striking an Upper West Side building. The finding from a necropsy conducted by the Bronx Zoo pathologist after Flaco's death. Oh, so he died a minute ago. He died like a month ago. But we finally got the autopsy. We finally got the full scoop. Validated widespread concerns of the hazard he had faced living as a free bird in Manhattan for just over a year. He would have turned 14 this month. Flaco's severe illness and death are ultimately attributed to a combination of factors: disease, toxin, traumatic injuries that underscore the hazards faced by wild birds, especially in an urban setting. Which is actually kind of wild because New York City has a lot of like hawks. I'm surprised the hawks don't get more dogs, but I guess there's easier prey out here. The Wildlife Conservation Society, which operates the Central Park Bronx Zoo, said in a statement, initial necropsy findings released the day after what onlookers described as a deadly building strike suggests that Flaco has sustained an acute traumatic injury to his body with signs of substantial hemorrhage under his sternum and in his back near his liver. Bro, the way they talk about this bird, you think it's a real fucking person. You would think it's like a real, like, damn, what happened to this guy type shit. There was also evidence of bleeding behind his left eye, but no signs of head trauma or broken bones. Flaco was in good body condition with good muscling and adequate fat stores. He weighed 4.1 pounds at death, 1/10 of a pound lighter than his last weigh-in. The society said at the time of the initial findings that additional tests were needed to determine whether any underlying factors had contributed to his death. I just can't get over the fact that fucking... we put so much time and effort into this fucking owl that died. But it goes to show, like, if it was a wild animal, right? I don't think it would have went... I don't know. How do I put it? If he started off as a wild animal in New York, he probably would have still died. Let's see. In confirming the role of traumatic injuries, those tests found he had severe pigeon's herpes, which is the Conservation Society attributed to his eating of feral pigeons. Oh, I thought he would smash. I would guess he smashed. The herpes virus in question can be carried by healthy pigeons, but may cause fatal diseases in birds of prey, including owls that become infected by eating pigeons. In Flaco's case, the viral infection had caused severe tissue damage and inflammation in many organs, including the spleen, liver, gastrointestinal tract, bone marrow, and brain. We're talking about the owl that died a month ago. Flaco. Together, the Conservation Society said the pigeon virus rodent side exposure would have been debilitating and ultimately fatal. Even without traumatic injury, it may have predisposed him flying into or falling from the building. Dude, it's so fucking crazy. And they couldn't catch this bird for like a year and some change. I mean, what do you expect from the fucking police department? Probably shoot it down. Toxicology tests also revealed trace amounts of DDE. DDE, a breakdown product of the pesticide DDT, which has been banned in the United States since the early 1970s. Although levels detected did not contribute to his death, the society said the finding was a reminder of the long legacy of DDT and its dire effects on wild bird populations. I don't even know what DDT is. It sounds like a wrestling move. Hatched on March 5th at North Carolina Bird Park, Flaco arrived at the Central Park Zoo less than 2 months later. He was a long way from what would have been a natural home for a bird like him. Yeah, I guess if it was in his natural habitat, he would have lasted longer. But like being out in New York, like it's a cold world. It's not the place for a fucking owl. but the last 14 months is impressive. The Eurasian eagle owl, known by the scientific name Bobo, is an apex predator found much in Europe, Scandinavia, Russia, and Central Asia. It is among the world's largest owls with a wingspan as wide as 6 feet. Jesus, that's a big fucking bird. The bird thrives in mountains and other rocky areas near forests, swooping down at night to hunt rodents, rabbits, and other prey. Fuck. So I know what, like, animals, if they don't live the natural life they're supposed to, they lose a bit of their instinct. So I'm guessing when he was in the zoo, they would, like, just throw rats in there. Like, they didn't feed him out of a bucket, so he knew how to hunt still. I would assume, if that even matters. I just like to see the way things work. There was a significant question about whether Flaco could thrive outside captivity. When he proved his doubters wrong by teaching himself to feast on Central Park's vast banquets of rats, he became an underdog worth rooting for. Bird watchers, ornithologists, and everyday people tracked his movements in person or often online. I'm surprised we never heard of this. Wildlife Conservation Society employees tried several times to retrieve him, but backed off after he showed that he could fend for himself. Oh, that's cool as shit. Before long, he had settled into a comfortable routine at the park's north end, and then Halloween, he began to roam from east to the upper west side. Oh, so they just let him do his thing. Okay. It wasn't a matter of getting him. They just let him do his thing. That's actually kind of fire. Experts and others tried to temper the excitement over his improbable sojourn. Eurasian eagle owls can live more than 40 years, but 20 on average in the wild. And no one could predict whether or when urban hazards like rat poison, a building strike, or a collision with a vehicle might cut his life short. Flaco managed to avoid vehicles by mostly sticking to rooftops, water towers, and other elevated elements of built environment once he left the park. But the risk of hitting a building was great. God, that's a big number. 230,000 birds a year die hitting buildings. That's a lot of robots. NYC Obadan says, and once he left Central Park, the roadside risk rose substantially. The use of rat poisons is halted in the city parks during nesting season from February to August, or when a breeding pair of birds of prey is present. Oh, so they actually, like, time when they poison these rats. I did not know that. So, yo, you smashing? Don't worry about it, bro. Rats have ingested rodenticides, often move more slowly, making them inviting and potentially lethal targets for birds of prey. Many of the 9 dead birds the city's park department sent the states to fucking big words. Holy shit. Sometimes when you strain your eyes. All right, let's try this again. Many of the 9 dead birds in the city's parks department sent to the state's Department of Environmental Conservation last year for a cause of death determination, including several red-tailed hawks, had been poisoned by rodenticide. The local news outlet The City reported on Monday. There was always a possibility Flaco could get more than one hazard. Barry, an owl, got COVID. Nah, okay, I'm fucking around. Barry the owl died the same way with poison. After Barry died in a collision with a Central Park conservation vehicle, a necropsy found she had died of blunt force trauma, according to the department of that long word, but also had a potentially lethal level of rat poison. So, like, if they're just, like, eating the rats, they're not going to be flying properly. They're just going to be doing dumb shit. The super and a resident contacted the Wild Bird Fund, a rescue organization. Oh, hold on. As for Flaco, his body was found in the back of a courtyard of a building on West 89th Street by a superintendent who immediately recognized him. The super and a resident contacted the Wild Bird Fund, the rescue organization, whose volunteers responded quickly and retrieved Flaco. He was alive and then declared dead. A memorial gathering on March 3rd. Dude, this just came out like 2 days ago. How am I supposed to go to the funeral that was fucking 3 weeks ago? His favorite oak tree and drew a crowd of essential 100 people who left flowers, letters, and other colorful mementos at the base of the trunk. Speakers read poems and shared how Flaco had inspired and moved them. 4,300 people had signed an online petition calling for a life-size statue of Flaco to be placed in Central Park. That's fucking wild. This bird was just chilling. He was living the New York dream. The fact that they even let him like just exist out there is really cool though. Like here's the thing. You live, because they live till 40 in captivity. Was it 40? Yeah. So you either live 40 years in captivity or you have the most bomb 1 year of your life. Mind you, he's 10 years old already. That's fucking crazy. So that's our first. Oh, let's see the comments. What do people say? Poor thing. I confess having started to buy into the rhetoric of those who claim experts are wrong. 40-year lifespan in a cage, or this is what I just said, or a chance to spread his wings and taste freedom. I choose freedom. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. They had the best and most wonderful new zoos. Like, zoos are evil. I mean, that's just what it is. Zoos are just fucking evil. Lose yourself in the music, the moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss